Good afternoon everybody, welcome to this, the Woolbridge Motor Club Wiscombe National Championship round here at Wiscombe Park near Honiton. And today we've got the best hill climbers throughout the UK here in attendance, all competing. It's for the British Championship, which goes all over Britain, the Channel Islands, Northern Ireland. So we're going to have a walk around the paddock now, see who we can find, see who we can have a little chat to, and to give you a little bit of an idea of what goes on. So let's go on and have a walk into the paddock. I think we'll start by seeing if we can get hold of Sean Gould. Gould's here. He's the constructor of the Gould racing cars, and the top 4 places at the moment are taken with Gould cars. So let's see if we can find Sean. Sean, have you got a few minutes for the live stream? You advertising? Are you advertising again? So I'm going to put a mic on you. This is live. It's going out all over the world, you know.
All over the world?
All over the world.
About how many viewers have we got? 20,000, 30,000?
Okay. Probably more.
Probably more, yeah.
So, Gould racing cars. You are Mr. Gould, aren't you?
I'm one of the Mr. Goulds. Yeah. My father was initially the person that started the business.
Again, we've just been talking to Steve Owen, and Steve mentioned the name Alan Stanningforth.
Yes.
Now, Alan was a big influence to your father's
He was a massive influence to my father, yes.
Tell us a little bit about where Gould racing cars come from. Because a lot of people see them and they don't really understand that. You know, it's a family firm still, isn't it?
It was a family business now. We turned a hobby into a business. I mean, Dad was always keen on racing cars from a very young age. When he was in his teens, in late 20s and that, he used to go and watch Formula 2. Like Jochen Rindt and people like that. At Thruxton and other places, and Crystal Palace, when they used to have races at Crystal Palace. He used to watch all the Formulas, saloon cars, when F1 drivers used to drive Mini Coopers and Cortinas, and then jump in an F1 car and run a Formula 2 car. They had a much more experience really during the day. Yeah. These days, obviously, F1 cars
are very limited, aren't they?
They're very limited. Well, they don't even like them driving anything else or doing anything risky because of the business. But so he went to watch those sort of things and became he loved motor racing. He started off by, when he was a lad, saving up and buying a Mini Cooper S. So he was always into minis and stuff. And then he got a job in London, which he used to travel up on the train every day, and he used to have an hour or so on the train each day, spare time. And he saw this book in a bookshop in London, I think, and picked it up, and it said High Speed, Low Cost, and it was written by a chap called Alan Stanningforth, who later became a very good friend. And it was basically a book that enabled you to manufacture your own car using standard road car engine parts. At this time they were using Mini Cooper S engines and Mini Cooper engines, and then you could manufacture your own chassis from welding and making tubes, getting tubes, what we call space frame chassis. Now my father was very keen on model aeroplanes and doing model aeroplanes, and he made beautiful model aeroplanes when you just got balsa wood and dope and tissue paper.
Stuck it all together.
And he stuck it all together, and he was fascinated by the aeroplanes when he was a lad, because his uncle flew in and our family flew in the First World War and Second World War, and his uncle was a test pilot for the RAF. Even after the war, he test piloted Meteors and Vampires, and actually during the war he was 18 and 19 years old flying Lancasters, into Germany.
The aviation side of it.
Yeah, the aviation side, which is all related to that. Dad was keen on that, you see. So, he saw this book and then decided he'd start building a racing car. Not known by my mother. When I was about 5 or 6 years old, we were going down to his another uncle's workshop, which was a blacksmith shop, and he'd started manufactured it from these drawings to make this Terrapin Hillclimb car. And obviously he contacted Alan Stanningforth, at the time, and he came along to the first events he had, I think, at Great Auckland, and met him, and the relationship started from there, and they gelled very well. Dad was very technical. He was just an engineer, even though he wasn't doing engineering. Because of all this experience, he understood. He did very well at school. He went to the grammar school and he came out with full A levels. And, you know, so he's a clever man.
That was the beginning of it. Now it's like totally the other end of the spectrum, isn't it?
It is.
You're still producing stuff, I believe, for Formula One teams that you can't say too much about because you have to kill me and all that.
We can't tell you about what teams we you know. Our bits of our that we've manufactured, our company have won 8 world championships.
Oh, that's pretty good. Then, isn't it?
So 8 world championships.
I just narrowed that down to a few teams.
Yeah, so you could probably in the last 10-15 years you can narrow that down to a couple of teams. So,
this is mainly aerodynamic stuff and carbon fibre type stuff.
It's carbon fibre parts that we manufacture. So that's what we do for a living now. This is the hobby that's just that's continued on in the background, and we could have stopped it. We thought, we'll just, we enjoy that, and it's the legacy of where the company came from. So this was from Gould Engineering. We now have a company called Gould Composites. So
as I was saying a bit earlier, you've got number 1 on that car. Yeah. But the top 4 cars that are competing in the Hillclimb Championship at the moment are Gould chassis. Yes. Which is got to be really sort of enjoyable for you as a person.
It's a great buzz to do that. Do this for a living. It's our hobby. We used to do it at the weekends, and our hobby is then a loss leader. So all our effort, our unpaid effort doing this and time that we put into this, Saturdays and Sundays, no pay, no income from it.
No, it's just outgoings.
Yeah, just outgoings. It's led to that, and then now we've made a living out of it. So
that's lovely.
So several F1 teams have used us for several years, and quite a lot of F1 teams contact us even now. They come to us and say, are you available?
What I need to do now is get young Matt to come and have a chat to me, don't I?
Yeah.
Because he is the driver. Yes. I know you're the shed driver.
Yeah, I'm just here for beer.
You've still got one of the fastest runs up Shelsley, haven't you?
I've got the hill record at Shelsley. I think that's the only record I've got left.
You're not exactly a slow driver yourself, are you?
No, that was quite a few years ago now. So
nobody's beat it, which is even more important.
Yeah. No, I think they'll get close to it again this year. We'll see. It's only 2 weeks, so I think we can probably get the gearing and stuff right. And if we get a good, decent weekend, I think Matt could get a quarter of a second or so off of it.
Because he's only at the moment he's 6 points ahead of Wallace. Wallace is chasing hard.
Wallace has come back very hard. He's got himself sorted. He had an accident last year that really set him back, and I think he's really drug himself back together and got himself sorted, and he's got a fantastic team of guys that work with him. And it's just effort and the physical belief that you can do it. And these cars aren't comfortable to drive fast. It's quite a dangerous thing to do. And it's being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
So. Right, let's see if we can get young Matt to come over and have a quick word. You've still got the mic on, so.
Okay.
We have Matt Ryder going to come and have a word with us now. Matt has got the number 1 on the car because he is the reigning British Hillclimb champion.
I'll watch that in a moment.
If you look on the back wing, you can see all the winner badges. That's where he's won the top 12 runoffs.